If you dared to call your mother the Squawking Chicken, you'd likely be grounded for a week, sent to your room, or disowned. Primo celebrity gossip blogger, hot TV commodity Elaine Lui not only calls her sharp-tongued mom the Squawking Chicken, she has been formed by her mother's squawks. Even though at times her mom appears to be slightly nuts, she is never low-classy, and it is my pleasure to welcome the high-classy gossip guru Elaine Lui back to Vancouver.
Hi.
Long time no see.
Long time no see, but I will always want to see you. I think we have a special relationship. Well, in my mind, we have a special relationship. Well, because, you know, you and I, this is the first talk show. Fanny Kiefer was my talk show hymen breaking. Can I say that on your show?
Yes, I think you said it before. Possibly, what year was it? 2006?
Yeah. I was just getting started in TV, and I was happily invited onto your show before George Stroumboulopoulos, before anybody else. So
before you, in your own right, were a TV star and all of that. Did the Squawking Chicken, your mother, see that show? Do you remember?
So there's a lovely, lovely person who works here, and we all know her, Sandy, and back then they always made the DVDs, and they would have them ready when you leave this studio. And so I took that DVD, sent it to my mother in Toronto, and yes, she loved the lighting. You know good lighting, Miss Kiefer.
I do know good lighting, and at my particular age, you have to have good lighting.
At any age, you need good lighting.
So, the chicken.
The chicken.
The Squawking Chicken. She's flashy, she's noisy, she wears sequins, she gambles, she gossips, but she's not low classy, but she's very sassy.
She thinks she's not low classy. She can do some low classy things in my mind, but she thinks she's not low classy. Yes, that's my mother, the Squawking Chicken.
How does she define low classy?
It's well, these are her definitions and her standards. So leg jiggling. You know, when you see someone sitting at a table jiggling, that's low classy. Leaning would be considered low classy. Somebody who's, you know, if you're waiting at the bus stop and you're leaning at the bus stop, that's low classy. You shouldn't do that. It's laziness.
Chewing gum?
Chewing gum? No, not so much. Obviously, being a homewrecker would be low classy.
Not so good.
Yeah.
Did she experience a little home wrecking in her day?
She did. I mean, listen, this is a woman who, you know, grew up on a mahjong table and then spent a lot of her own time in a mahjong. I was raised at the mahjong table. That's what you do. You gossip. And sometimes your mahjong companions are, you know, being swindled by their spouses. How about that with other women? And yeah, there were some homewreckers that she had to take care of on behalf of her friends.
Of course.
Yeah.
And if nothing else, she's loyal.
She's loyal, she's fierce, and she fights for the weak. And that's what she was doing. When I write about the homewrecker hunt in this book, she was standing up for somebody who was weaker.
And when you go back to her beginnings, hard scrabble beginnings, grew up with a few gangsters, a few smoking guns. Tell me about her early life.
Well, her early life was, she's the oldest daughter of 6, and her parents weren't the greatest, most stable parents. My grandparents were gamblers. And so there are some ups, but mostly downs. And during those lows, they really threw all their responsibilities onto their oldest daughter, the Squawking Chicken. She had to take after her siblings, or look after her siblings. She had to drop out of school. They really mistreated her. And from that terrible home life, she had to rise and make something of herself.
Who nicknamed her Squawking Chicken?
The people in the village in Yuen Long, Hong Kong, where she grew up, the people in the village just came up with that nickname because of this voice, the sound of 1,000 roosters, really. A voice that arrives before the person does.
Well, she has a little more cock-a-doodle-doo than most chickens, for sure. She is more rooster-like, it appears.
Yes. It's just that the term in Chinese, Squawking Chicken, literally is chang gai in Cantonese. And that was what they called her because she was assertive, she was opinionated at a time when women were not assertive and not opinionated, especially not in Hong Kong. And she would tell you right to your face, gangster or politician alike.
And she'd tell you to your face.
40 years she's been telling me to my face, yes.
Now she texts in capitals.
She texts
on
in
her
all
flip
caps.
phone.
Yeah, how appropriate, right?
Of course. And she says things to you like, you don't like your nose so much, or you said once you didn't like your nose so much, and she said to you something like, woman with nose that's not meaty.
Yeah.
If you don't have a meaty nose, it's bad luck for guy.
Yes, yes, exactly. So, you know, women with, I always wanted a skinny nose that, you know, pointed up a little bit.
Cheryl Tiggs.
And she said that those skinny noses on women meant that their husbands could never satisfy them. They would never be, they would never get their fill.
I'm going in search of skinny noses now. I think mine's fat enough that I can get away with it. Isn't that interesting?
You've got some junk on your nose. That's a good thing.
Thinking, really? Some junk, some meat. So where did it all come from? All of the homilies, if I can call them that, the superstition, the feng shui blackmail, as you call it.
Well, a part of it comes from culture. I mean, we are a very old, superstitious culture, and she was, when her parents weren't, you know, dumping things on her, she was raised by her grandmother in the village. So that was a generation that really believed in fortune telling, feng shui, and in the magic of the culture, ghost stories, and you know, the spirituality, that the energy that envelops us all. So she started just applying that to life, and you know, taking note of not just coincidences, but occasions where you just couldn't explain it away by any other reason.
And a believer in Chinese astrology, for sure.
100%.